starting with the one and only TNA appearance of one Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, and what an appearance it was. He looked bored.
Yeah, so the first episode of the month, the first Impact of the month, July 2nd, the main event was Team Canada versus the 3 Live Crew. And notable was Dennis Rodman came out with the 3 Live Crew. And that's it. That's all he did. He just walked out with them and sat in the crowd and did nothing. And like they cut to shots of him, as you said, looking tremendously bored at all of this. Which, to be fair, he was watching a 3 Live Crew match, so of course he was bored. But yeah, good appearance for Rodman here.
I mean, yep.
So Dennis Rodman was a big letdown for TNA management. Last night at the tapings, he arrived with a posse of only 2 agent-like men in slacks and button-up shirts. That's very descriptive of the PW Torch. He was describing how Dennis Rodman's posse is dressed.
Wade was like, I need the detail to the button.
I want to know how Kenny Omega was dressed when he was running the dog out of the room.
I'm assuming it was some sort of Resident Evil t-shirt and shorts.
So he arrived in plenty of time for walkthroughs of his angle, but he refused to go along with anything suggested. Rodman turned down the initial request of, guess what, taking a guitar shot from Jeff Jarrett.
I mean, why not at that point?
Yeah, just eat it. You're not going back. The only reason he apparently did it was like Jarrett and Rodman shared an agent for appearances, so it was kind of a favor. It didn't cost him that much money by all accounts. But yeah, just eat the guitar shot. No, he said no.
I don't blame him for not wanting to eat the guitar shot, considering half the time they're like not worked guitars and people just die.
Jarrett's just shooting, busting people open with all these guitars, so he's just like, no.
Jarrett, again, I'm a big purveyor of swiveling the guitar and just hitting it with the side instead.
Jarrett wasn't willing to take a guitar shot from Rodman either, unless Rodman agreed to be part of an ongoing TNA storyline, which Rodman said no to. So the focus was shifted toward the Team Canada versus 3LK main event. They asked Rodman to go after D'Amore with a hockey stick, and Rodman said no to that too. So he ended up just sitting at ringside and talking to the TNA ring girls. Afterwards, some fans heckled Rodman for not doing anything. He did not seem excited to be there, says one TNA wrestler. He's a strange guy.
I like the implication that he's strange because he doesn't want to do a TNA shot.
Well, no, he's done the TNA shot. He just doesn't want to do anything at his TNA shot.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know, did you expect Dennis Rodman to be like, fuck yeah, this is the highlight of my week?
I want to do a match with AMW. Let me bleed inside 6 sides of steel.
Yeah, add me to AMW. Make me the 4th member.
Yeah, Dusty, Rodman, Harris, and Storm. The best stable in wrestling history.
I mean, it would be up there, wouldn't it?
A lot of wrestlers were upset about Rodman refusing to do anything. Some, being almost half serious, started egging Shamrock to go on down to the ring and just scare the hell out of him because of his attitude displayed backstage and in front of the people. So they wanted like Shamrock to go down and shoot on Dennis Rodman.
That's awesome.
As it was, he got there, sat at the Spanish announce desks, flirted with some women, and wasn't over to begin with. Yeah, there was also no reaction for Rodman. People did not give a shit at even him walking out.
Yeah, well, you know, the bloom is off the rose at this point for Dennis Rodman, right?
Yeah, we are firmly in, like, post-late career Rodman. There is some, like, talk about him, I think, signing with, I can't remember what the team was, but it was, I don't think, even particularly taken seriously then. This is... Rodman's career is done and he's not particularly relevant in the mainstream anymore.
It must be like very difficult from being so rich and so famous to being like a regular guy.
Yeah, you go from a guy who is probably like, I don't know, top 10 most well-known sports star of the 90s to a guy who's like weirdo, washed, making peace in North Korea, dude.
Yeah, right.
It's quite the transition.
That has to mess with people for sure. There's no way like that leaves you well adjusted. And especially for a guy who wasn't well adjusted in the first place.
Yeah, and especially like an athlete who like, if you're an actor, you can get a new role that chases the high.
Yeah, like acting completely different. An athlete, it's like, it's all on your body.
And once that's done, you're just done as like a relevant guy, unless you're like one of the truly transcendent people, which Rodman isn't quite.
Well, maybe in 7 years, he can go sign with another basketball team. He can come in And he can be like, I'm so different. I'm a locker room leader. I'm here to help the next generation of basketball player. And then like a year after that, when a bunch of those younger basketball players aren't listening to him, he can turn into an insane person.
Burn it all to the ground.
Hmm.
Seems like a good arc for Dennis Rodman.
Yep, for Dennis Rodman. For Chicago's son, Dennis Rodman. For Chicago made Dennis Rodman.
You know, he does have a reputation for being a punk. Fans were chanting Rodman's worthless at him and he was managing the baby faces. And they were correct. According to those who know Rodman, he got there and thought, what have I got myself into? Since the only people that he even recognized, and he's a wrestling fan, were Jarrett, Shamrock, and Conan.
Maybe he's just not a good wrestling fan.
He's not watching his Ring of Honor tapes.
Oh, I love the idea of Dennis Rodman sitting down and watching like ROH tapes. He's like, man, I gotta watch Kabashi Joe.
He's loving his Alex Shelley, his embassy tapes.
I'm doing the embassy sign.
Thank you.
And so is Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Well, aren't we gonna look fools about questioning his fandom when he's gonna be listening to this podcast?
Hey, Dennis Rodman, if you're listening, come talk to us about this very random one-off TNA appearance.
Yeah, we won't pay you.